This is a paranormal story from a woman that I thought was really good. Here's what she writes. When I was pregnant with my second child, my husband and I decided to buy a house. The lease came up on our apartment before our new house was ready, so rather than sign another lease, we decided to stay with my husband's family until it was done. It was December in Indiana and it was extremely cold. That cold slipped into the basement of my in-laws' house at night and made it very uncomfortable. One night, I decided to turn on the oven in the little kitchen down there to warm the place up. It didn't take long to get it cozy, and pretty soon I was sound asleep. Sometime in the night, I woke up to use the bathroom. When I passed by the stairs leading up to the main house, I looked up to see a little girl sitting on the top step. Well, I thought that was my sister-in-law, Carmen. She was about 5 at that time, and she was cute as a bug. Carmen had long brown hair, and she was really soft-spoken. She was just sitting there in a long, light-colored gown, looking forlorn. I couldn't imagine how she'd come down to the basement in the dark, so I told her to go back to bed because her mother was going to be angry with her. She looked at me and said, "Mommy, please turn off the oven or we will die." Well, I was confused by her statement, so I guess I didn't answer right away. She repeated herself, "Mommy, please turn off the oven or we're going to die." She was so soft-spoken and so gentle and very quiet, and she was unbelievably cute sitting there, but she was really beginning to freak me out. However, she was right. I needed to turn off the oven. I thought it was time to take her back to bed then, but when I went back to the stairs, she was gone. And to be honest, I wasn't sure what had just happened. The next morning, I asked my mother-in-law why Carmen would have come downstairs in the middle of the night like that. Well, she gave me an odd look, and she assured me that Carmen had never left her bed. When I asked Carmen about it, she repeated what her mother said. And then my mother-in-law told me that Carmen was afraid of the dark and she would never come downstairs at night. It was a month later, and I gave birth to a little girl who looks a lot like her Aunt Carmen. My mother-in-law is fond of reminding me of my nocturnal visitor, so I have to ask, did my little girl visit me while she was still in the womb to save all of our lives? Oh, man. Woo, that story gave me the willies, but it's kind of a good story. If it was some type of apparition, it did save it could possibly have saved all their lives. So I love the story. I thought I would share that with you. I hope you guys like it. Let's go to another one. Here's an email from a gentleman who says in 1969 they had a real scary hunting trip. Here's what he writes. In December of 1969, my buddies and I were walking back to the house after a day of hunting. We were crossing a holler when a large animal came out of the bush and began chasing us. Shock and fear and adrenaline hit us all at the same time, and we turned and started running for our lives. Behind us, we could hear the monster crashing through the woods on what sounded like 2 feet. We were a group of 12-year-old boys scared out of our minds by visions of that creature catching up with us and then tearing us to pieces. We were moving as fast as we could, but it was gaining on us. It was 15 yards behind us when one of my friends lost his footing and fell, and he sliced his leg open in the process. I had to do something. There was no time to think or make a plan, so instinctively, I turned and fired my shotgun straight into it. That was enough to knock it backwards, and then it turned and ran away, and we managed to get my friend on his feet and back to the house. We didn't talk much about what happened. We were too shaken up. It was the last time that any of my friends would ever come to my house. It took a couple of days, but my love of hunting overshadowed my fear of monsters, and I went back out into the woods again. When I got to the spot where I had shot that animal, I found a blood trail, so I decided to follow it. The thing had made it 200 yards, and then it had died. It was lying there face up on the ground, all 7 feet of it. I guess it weighed around 500 pounds. It was clearly a male, and it had a face that looked more human than gorilla. I tried to turn it over, but it was way too heavy, so I decided to go back and get a camera so I could get some pictures of it. But by the time I got there, I thought it would be better if I didn't go back alone, so I had to talk my brother into going with me. That took 2 days, and by the time we got back, that creature was gone. We spent that winter tracking and trying to find more of them. We thought there might have been a family of them living in the area. We tracked them for 9 miles, but we never got close enough to gather any real evidence. Personally, I think they ate the body of the dead one. I think they always eat their dead, and that's why we never find any Bigfoot remains lying around. Okay, that's one of those stories that most people are going to go, oh, that's not true. There's no way that's true. But you know what? What if it is true? And this guy really did kill a Bigfoot. I've heard stories about this. People killing them, they go back to collect the corpse and it's gone. Or they'll shoot one and it'll run off and you know it's mortally wounded, but they never find the body. I think it's quite possible, if there is a creature living in these woods, men and women have shot these things and killed them. It's quite possible someone even has a body somewhere that they never reported. What do you guys think? Leave a comment and let me know what your opinion of this story is. Okay, well, that's going to do it. Short podcast. That's the way it's going to be here and there over the next couple of months, but I'm still going to stay connected with you guys because I love doing these stories. So have a good rest of your week, and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you.